Hey, what's up everyone? It's me, Prince Caius here, and this is what if Deku was, had could control time, part 2, and I've been trying to write this for a long time, trying to figure out everything, what happens, but now I'm ready. So 3, 2, 1, intro. So where we left off is time for the UA festival. When Deku went to the UA festival, Sir Night called Deku, asking him if he would want to be his sidekick. Deku told Sir Night that he would love to be his sidekick. And when the UA festival started, it was time for the race. But everyone knows that Deku will be in first, so they let him be in first without doing the race because, well, he can control time. He's going to be over. He's like, you know, and like he's going to be in first in a flash, and he's going to be at the end of the gate and in like 1 second. So they're just going to let him. So, time for the battles. Deku versus Shinso. When the battle begins, Deku walks to him very slowly and asks Shinso if he needs help with being a hero. Because remember, Deku can see futures and in the past and the present. Well, obviously the present, but he can see the future of anyone he is by or thinking of. He can see the past of it. So basically, he knows everything. He knows, everything. Shinso uses his quirk on him, on Deku. Shinso tries to command Deku to get out of the ring, but it doesn't even work on Deku. Deku then tells Shinso that he knows everything about the future and the past, and that he can see it now. But he can't tell him about the future all of a sudden. So, okay, before I say this, Deku already knows how to nullify Shinso's quirk without having he already knows everything and every weakness and every con and perk of every quirk. And Deku already has something in mind that can fix that. And he basically has these tiny earphones that just blocks Shinso's quirk, which Deku made himself without anyone noticing when he was obviously doing waiting for everyone to do the race. So now continuing, all of a sudden Deku is behind Shinso and tells him that he can help him become a hero and get into the hero course, either 1B or 1A. And he just chops him on the neck and knocks him out. And he doesn't do that yet. Deku does grab Shinso and pushes him. Shinso tries to grab Deku and it doesn't work, obviously. And Shinso asks Deku if that's true. If he can help him with using his quirk and how to use all this, how to, train and stuff. Well, not train, how to become a hero into the hero course. So Deku just says that he can, and he tells Shinso that only one thing. He only says Shinso is going to lose. So Shinso didn't barely hear this because he said it really fast, and Deku just gets behind Shinso and knocks him out by chopping him on the neck. So Deku wins. So Deku actually does write a letter, putting it in his pocket, putting it in Shinso's pocket, and it says to meet him at the UA training field. So, Deku versus Shoto. When the battle starts, Shoto Shoto attacks with ice over and over. Deku just makes time remnants, and yes, he can make time remnants. Basically, clones of himself. It's like After Image or double clone, like Dragon Ball. Basically, he's moving so fast that he's actually making body doubles, or he can actually go in time and grab himself from other timelines of the same one. So basically, Deku is basically having himself fight with himself versus Shoto. So Deku gets behind Shoto, the real one, okay, not the time remnant. Actually, the time remnants are just clones of himself, just to make it more simple. Deku gets behind Shoto and tells him that his quirk is not his father's quirk, and just pushes him with a super fast well, he doesn't punch him. It's it's like an air palm, okay? Like what the Hyuga uses. It's basically like that, but like pushes them away. He basically makes a ripple in the air and just pushes them. That's what Shoto just got hit by. Now, all of a sudden, Shoto uses his fire side and ice side a little bit. Deku tells Shoto that if he trains with both, it will help him become stronger than his father, and he can surpass All Might if he tried. Deku and his time remnants hits Shoto, and then all the remnants go away, like, disappear as soon as the battle ends. So basically, Deku just almost knocked out Shoto, and Shoto lost. Deku then helps Shoto up and tells him that he could help him become stronger if he trains with him and everyone else. He invited everyone from 1A and 1B, and including the Shinso. So, after the battle, Deku and Shoto are talking, and Shoto asks if Deku is the kid from the past who showed up out of nowhere and left out of nowhere. Deku then tells him that he is that kid, but he went back in time on accident when he was a little kid. So that's why he was 4 to 5 years old, into UA, and trained there for a few years. Technically 10 years. So when he was younger, that's when, but he learned how to use his quirk when he was younger. but now he learned how to grow old. He basically is immortal. He does not need to grow up. Well, he matures, but his body just he can either accelerate his body growth or slow it down to the point that he is not going to grow old. So basically, he's immortal. He can speed up his healing factor and uh, his his whole body, every single part of his body, including his brain, his eyes, um, his heart if he needs that, um, or his lungs if he needs that as well. Um, so Shoto asks Deku who else is going to train uh, with them, and he tells he tells Shoto that he is going to ask Katsuki Bakugo to join them, which he already knows about 1A and 1B and Shinso, but he doesn't know about Katsuki Bakugo because he thinks Bakugo is just going to be like no or just not go over there. But, Deku and Bakugo are best friends. Um, Time for the next battle. Deku versus Bakugo. When the battle begins, Bakugo tells Deku to go all out in this battle. Deku then tells Bakugo that he will, because he promised next time that he would actually fight him one day when they were kids with full power. So Bakugo tries to hit Deku, but Deku is way too fast for Bakugo. Basically, he's moving at light speed, and Deku makes 100 time remnants, and they all run to Bakugo so fast, in fact, that it breaks the sound barrier right in the dead center, which they actually combust they not combust they actually do not destroy any other, like behind them. It doesn't destroy the arena, it just destroys where they are, like where they're running to. It's basically where Bakugo is in the middle of. It's basically Bakugo is getting hit by the sound barrier. Uh, so he's almost like his bones are a little bit broken, but he's still standing up. Um, okay, so uh, and uh, Bakugo actually does get defeated because, well, his bones are a little bit broken, and he just falls over and faints, which Deku just runs over to Bakugo and rewinds the whole destroyed part of the arena in an instant and heals Bakugo in an instant and waking him up. And Deku then asks if he wants to join the training camp of his. Bakugo agrees to join the camp. So time for the hero killer arc. Deku makes time remnants and goes to every hero and trains with them. Plus, he goes with everyone who was in 1B and 1A and Shinso, and he is actually with Aizawa. So Deku is training with Aizawa and Shinso to help them train Shinso and everyone else. So basically that. So Deku does find Stain and captures him. And by the way, Ida is fighting, which Deku does not get Shoto in this one because obviously he's broken. Okay, he's a broken quirk user right now. And it captures him before he had the chance to fight back. Deku heals Ida and the Pro Hero. Ida does tell Deku to heal his brother, and he does agree, but Deku tells Ida's brother to let Ida to have his hero name and just act like his that he's like, weakened a little bit or more, so he can have, his Indium I don't even know what Ida's brother's Ingenium, that's what it was called. Why Deku tells that he will make everyone proud in the future. So Ida's brother actually agrees to this and does tell Ida to take up the mantle, and Ida's going to accept because his brother is actually fine and he wants to retire, which Deku luckily talked Ida into agreeing to it. So it took like a few days of him trying to convince him, and Ida actually knows that Deku can see the future, so he's like, okay, I have to accept this because Deku can see the future and the past, so let's just do that. So, time for the training camp arc. We'll not do this in this episode. This will be in part 3. So, I hope you enjoy, and there will be another What If coming soon. And I'll put out a trailer for it, and you tell me what you guys would like to see in it. And I hope you enjoy. So, 3, 2, 1, outro.